That I was already an actor in this movie. This is the sexiest movie I've ever seen. I've seen thousands of movies in my lifetime, and other actors made money. This is my movie, this is my video, because I was already paying the same bill that everybody else is paying. So here's what I understood, that I was time broke at the age of 59 years old. I had no idea how to retire because there's no pension, no social security was out there for me, no retirement because I own my own businesses, and I did not have time. So when I saw this, here's what I understood. First of all, there's a way for me to lower my bill. I go, I'm in. I don't need to think about that one. Number two, they said they're gonna pay me a commission to pay the bill. I go, I'm definitely in. Number three, they said, we can eliminate your bills. I go, what? I have those bills, they call residual bill for the rest of my life. I eliminate them. Number four, I can feed a hungry child every time I pay my bills beside my 6 kids. I said, oh, that's great. And number five, pay attention to number five, that you can be financial free if you want to. Because the law of rises says that 95% of the people at the age of 65 will be dead or dead broke. I was right in there. I couldn't figure it out. So today is not about me. Today we are so blessed. So blessed. Did I say so blessed? So blessed. I want to make sure I said it. To have a friend of mine who has been mentoring me for many, many years, whether it's personal or through YouTube or anything that I won't go to see at every convention, I see him train. And we became friends, real close friend lately. And we traveled the world together with a company of ACN that paid for our trip, carte blanche. And I asked him to come here and mentor us and teach us the nugget of how to take an ordinary person and make him into whatever he wants to become. So today, we gotta give a respect to where respect is due, because this gentleman could be anywhere he could be today in the world. And he has no financial interest in this group right here. He just does it as a courtesy to the love that he has for this company. Not only is documented in Success Magazine numerous times, not only is that documented in corporate DVD thousands of times, he's a COC. That means that he's sitting with the board of all the owners and made rules and regulations for us people in the business so we can benefit from the profit of what this business does. So I'd love all of you to stand up and give a great ovation for my friend, Senior Vice President, Sir Steve Mikey.
Well, he does have a brighter suit on than I do this morning. What an incredible leader you have. Let's give Nassim a huge round of applause. Nassim is someone that just truly cares about you, cares about the organization, and most importantly, someone that leads by example. Who in here loves the fact that you can follow a leader that is actually doing what he's teaching you to do? You know what I mean? So that's amazing. So I appreciate him inviting me here. I appreciate him putting me up in the hotel last night. I appreciate him buying me breakfast this morning. I just appreciate it, right? So I'm very excited to be here this morning, and what a great group and what a great crowd for a rainy morning in New Jersey, right? Yeah. So what a great group to hear this morning. And before we get started, just a little bit of my background, who I am, how I got introduced to ACN. So before ACN, I was your ordinary, everyday type of, young adult, I guess you could say. I just graduated from college, and the reason I went to college was my whole life my parents said, go to college. So I went to college, right? So I really didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, so I felt, well, maybe I'll study finance, because if I study money, maybe I'll realize what I want to do, right? So I went to school, I studied finance, graduated college, with a degree in finance, and I was working for a financial services company and commuting back and forth to work about an hour and a half each way. Now, I know in New Jersey, New York, an hour and a half each way might be 5 miles, but where I live, okay, an hour and a half, that was 65 miles each way. So I commuted 65 miles each way to work, and I was waiting tables on the weekends at a seafood restaurant. I was the youth pastor at my local church, so I was busy with that. So I was working all week long, working on the weekend. So I used to tell people when I was not working, I was working. Can anyone relate to just having no free time? That's where I was at, just no free time. And I was at a point in my life where, during college I had roommates, so we split the bills and things like that. And even though I was making decent money when I came out of college, when you have all the bills and are now in your name, can we agree that it starts to get a little tough? You're like, man, these bills aren't in my name. Because it used to be the bill was in your roommate's name, so you could just give him the money a little bit late and it was all good because it was on him. Now, don't act like you've never done that before. So when I got introduced to ACN, I did not come out to an ACN meeting because I was knew something like this existed. I came to an ACN meeting because my friend was so excited about it. Like, who in here was invited by someone that was just so excited? Right? And I was excited because they were excited. I was a little weirded out because they were so excited, because I couldn't relate being excited to work. You understand what I'm saying? So, when I came to the meeting, I walked into this environment 12 and a half years ago, and I'm like, man, these people are really genuinely and excited. And I realized the reason that is they were making money. See, when you make money, you get excited. Yes or yes?
Yes.
Right? So I got involved in ACN. It just made sense to me. I love the fact that it was so simple. I love the fact that I didn't have to have any business skills to do the business because I had no business skills whatsoever. I love the fact that I didn't have to own a business. I love the fact that there was no large investment. I love the fact that there was no certain amount of time I had to invest into it every day or every week or every month. It was just something I could do at my own pace, at my own schedule. So I started ACN, and not because of my skill set, but because of the system and great leadership I received, I was able to start making money right away. With the company. Within 18 months of doing this business, I was making more money doing ACN than I was making at my full-time job and my part-time job combined. So in September of 2007, I walked away from corporate America. So I've been unemployed for 11 years. And I tell everyone, I suggest not having a job. Right? Because when you don't have a job, you can get more done. Yes or no?
Yes.
Imagine if you didn't have to go to work at any type of job. Could you get more done?
Yes.
Could you finally clean out your garage?
Yeah.
Could you finally clean out your attic?
Yeah.
Could you finally do all the stuff that you said you were going to do for the last 5 years? Right? See, people just have no time. So 3.5 years into ACN, my wife was a registered nurse, and I replaced her income in 2009. So she's been home with our kids, and we have 4 children. We have an 8-year-old son, a 6-year-old son, a 3-year-old daughter, and a 6-month-old daughter. So, and 3 dogs, and 5 hermit crabs. And we have a half-acre pond on our property with about 400 fish. So we have a lot going on, but we like it. Actually, we love it. We love the lifestyle ACN has given us. I'm not a money-motivated person. I'm a freedom-motivated person. Anyone just want to get free?
Yes.
Don't you want to just live a life where Monday morning you just don't have to be anywhere?
Yes.
Don't you just want to live a life where Tuesday morning you don't have to be anywhere?
Yeah.
I remember being new in ACN, and my friends would say, man, I can't believe you're going to another training on Saturday. And I would say, man, I can't believe you go to work Monday through Friday. It's unbelievable to me. You go to work Monday through Friday. That is crazy, right? So I'm just going to go through a short presentation this morning, explain ACN to everyone, and I just want to make this very comfortable. My responsibility and role is not to sell ACN to you. My responsibility is to explain ACN to you. Because here's the reality. If you're a guest here today, if you've been looking for us, we've been looking for you. If you've not been looking for us, we've not been looking for you. Everyone smile. See, because at the end of the day, we are just looking for people that want more out of life. And if that is you, we want to show you how to do this, we want to coach you how to do this, and we want to help you do this. So let's go ahead and get started here. Is there anything specific I have to do? All right, there we go. So earnings as an ACN IBO are based off your work ethic. Who in here knows that if you work, you get paid? If you don't work, you don't get paid? Who understands that? Same thing in ACN. I have people ask me all the time, Cody, you became a senior vice president. How did you do it? I worked, and I worked hard, and I was consistent, and I stuck with it, and I overcame obstacles. Isn't that what you do at your job?
Yes.
Who in here works hard? Raise your hand. Now, if you work hard for someone else, just work hard for yourself. Right? If you work hard for someone else full-time, just work hard for yourself part-time. in the business, okay? So ACN is a company, we started in 1993, so we've been around a long time. We're currently operating in 25 countries on 4 continents, did over $4 billion in revenue last year. We've acquired millions of customers, and today ACN has become the world's largest direct seller of telecommunications, energy, and other essential services. So simply put, as an ACN independent business owner, you are able to broker services through your online store. So here's how this works. Who in here has ever heard of a company called Amazon? Okay, Amazon is a fulfillment company, which means if you go on the Amazon website and you buy something on the Amazon website, you're not typically buying that product from Amazon. I mean, you could buy an Amazon Echo or something like that, but when you buy something on Amazon, you're buying a product that someone else is selling on the Amazon store. True or false?
True.
That's the way Amazon works. And then they package it up in the Amazon box and they send it to your house. Well, see, as an ACN independent business owner, ACN acts as the fulfillment company, just like Amazon acts as the fulfillment company. So as an ACN independent business owner, I have a store where companies like Verizon, Frontier, DirecTV, AT&T, CenturyLink, who in here knows these companies? Now, do you have to do some research on Verizon?
No.
How about AT&T?
No.
How about DirecTV Dish Network? You've heard of all these companies, right?
Yes.
See, they offer their services on the ACN website. I am an ACN independent business owner. So if someone goes to my online store and orders any of these services, ACN is fulfilling the order. I'm just promoting the service on the online store. Everyone say, this sounds simple. Because it is simple. See, all that we're doing is promoting the services. And if you go promote the services and you get 5 of the same service, that service for you is free. Who in here likes free stuff? Woo! Let me tell you something. Now, seeing that breakfast you brought me this morning, brother? That was good. And even if it wasn't good, it was still good. Because free is good. See, free is always good. So if you're going to pay a cell phone bill the rest of your life, don't you want it for free?
Yes.
If you're going to pay an internet bill the rest of your life, don't you want it for free?
Yes.
You see, to me, if all I was able to do was get my services for free, this would be worth doing the business. That would be worth doing it just for that. You know, I had someone just tell me last week, they're like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this. I'm not a people person. I don't like doing stuff like this. I'm like, do you like yourself? And they were like, well, yeah. I was like, okay, just get free service, right? Don't overcomplicate this, right? You know, sometimes we psych ourselves out, yes or no, right? So don't psych yourself out. If like you're the most non-person related person on the planet, just go get free service and then grow. And maybe eventually you want to talk to someone and share the service and do something like that, okay? So these are the services we offer: wireless, energy, high-speed internet, TV, home security, gas, electricity, literally every service you can think of in someone's home and or business. Now, what we are able to do is eliminate all advertising, okay? And because we eliminate all advertising, that's how we're able to come in less expensive in most cases on these services, because we eliminate the advertising cost. Who in here knows that advertising costs money? Okay. See, if you go on Amazon, can't you find stuff cheaper than you can at a store? Reason being, if you go to a brick and mortar store, that brick and mortar store has overhead costs that they have to cover before they can make a profit. Yes or no?
Yes.
Right? See, in ACN, because we eliminate all advertising and because we don't have overhead costs and we're using word of mouth, we can eliminate that cost and pass on that savings to the customer. So no media advertising, no internet marketing, no mass mailing. We focus on the relationships that we have with people. See, I've never acquired a customer in my ACN career from someone that I did not personally know. See, my customers are people that know me, love me, trust me, want to see me do well in business. See, I talk to them about services that they already pay and show them how to save money on services they already pay. Is that a pretty simple conversation?
Yes.
It's this relationship marketing. Now, the way you start ACN is you're buying this business. It's $499. You pay one time to buy an ACN business. Now, is there any traditional business owners here? Any traditional business? Now, traditional businesses usually cost more than $4.99 or less than $4.99? More than $4.99. You know, I was just sharing with Nassim yesterday. My wife and I and my family, we live in southern Delaware, and we have I call it a small piece of land because where I'm at it is, but up here I guess it's pretty big. So we have 11 acres where our home is at. And so we have 2.5 acres that's cleared. So we have grass and things. So my lawn crew comes about once a week, and it's 3 guys. It takes them 3 hours to do my entire property. So what I usually like to do is just go upstairs and look out the window and just watch them because it's usually 85 degrees out and I don't want to go outside, right? So as I'm watching them out the window, you know, cut the grass and do this and ride around and sweat to death. And, you know, so one time I went up to the guy, his name is Darren. I was just talking to him, and he's actually in ACN as well. And he is, he's a team coordinator in the group. And I said, you know, Darren, what do one of these lawnmowers cost? Because I had no idea. Like, I'm like ignorant when it comes to stuff like that. Like, I think a lawnmower costs a few $100. Like, I have no idea, right? So he said, well, this lawnmower I'm on right now, he said, this was $6,000, but I got it pre-owned. And I'm like, $6,000 for a lawnmower, right? He was on one of those 0-turn lawnmowers you've seen where you're going and like they turn. So I started just, you know, doing a little calculation in my head because he had a few of those lawnmowers. They had some push lawnmowers, and then he had a truck, obviously, and he had a trailer, and then he had trimmers and edgers and leaf blowers. I'm thinking in my mind, well, to even start a lawn care company, you're looking at tens of thousands of dollars just to start a lawn care company. Yes or no? Yes. Right? And then it's not even residual income. Right? And then if something breaks, who fixes it? You do. You have to pay for it. Here's what blows my mind about ACN. I paid $499 one time 12.5 years ago. I have over 10,000 business partners, but I have no employees. We get paid on well over 50,000 billing customers every single month, but I do no accounts receivable, no accounts payable, no inventory, no collections of money. Don't you love the fact that in ACN you can own a business, but you don't have to deal with all the headache and hassle of owning a traditional business? You go talk to any business owner, here's what they'll tell you, traditional business owner. They spend 90% of their time working on their business and 10% of their time working in their business. See, in ACN, you can spend 100% of your time working in the business because ACN is working on the business. Let's give ACN a big round of applause. So ACN, not me, see, ACN has developed the websites. ACN has developed the online store. ACN has developed the partnerships. ACN does all customer care and billing. ACN does all customer tracking. What you do is acquire customers, meaning you promote the store, and then you promote the business opportunity. So you're showing people how to save money, you're showing people how to make money on these services. Now, you're paid multiple ways in ACN. First way is personal residual income. You go out and acquire customers. ACN will pay you up to 10% of the bill. Every single month, the bill is paid. So residual income is the income of the wealthy. It just really, really is, okay? And residual income allows you to have time and money together. And what I've experienced is that most people don't lack work ethic, they just lack the right vehicle, right? ACN is just the right vehicle because you can do something one time but get paid over and over and over again. Who in here, when you pay your bills, they always come back? Man, you're like, man, I just paid this thing. And then you pay it again and what happens? And then you pay it again and what happens? See, that's called residual income. To them, not you. See, that's why, personally, I don't get it when people don't do this business. I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. Because ACN makes more than business sense to me. It makes common sense to me. Because, here, look, before ACN, I paid a cell phone bill. Before ACN, I paid an electric bill. Before ACN, I paid an internet bill and a TV bill. Now watch this. After ACN, I still paid those bills. But when I paid the bills, I got 10% of the bill back to pay the bill. Has everyone got it? Yep. It'll be like someone coming to you and saying, well, listen, I'm going to pay you to brush your teeth each morning. and you say, no, I've heard of those things before, and plus I got 2 jobs, I don't have time to do that. You're already doing it. You're already doing it. Why not put yourself in the middle of a transaction that is already taking place every month anyways?
Yes.
See, look at this. Every month when you pay your bills, does money come out of your account?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a river of money flowing every 30 days. See, ACN just allows you to step in that and get a piece. That's what we're doing. We're just putting ourselves in the middle of the transaction and getting a piece of that residually every single month. So the second way you're paid in ACN is through building a team, building distribution, getting paid through the time and efforts of other people. So let me give you some examples that we all can relate to, okay? Let's say you're in real estate and you sell homes for a living, okay? If you're in real estate, okay, and you're selling homes, let's say you are just the ACN laptop. You are just the person that's going out there selling homes. Meaning you sell a house, you get paid. You don't sell a house, what happens?
You don't get paid.
You don't get paid. So say you do that for a few years and you're like, man, I'm making okay money, but my family, I have to sacrifice being away from them, and time's more valuable than money. And you're like, well, the only way I'm going to be able to have more time and make a lot of money is by getting paid through the time and efforts of other people. It's called leveraging. So if you're in real estate as an agent, you eventually go become a what? Broker, right? And when you're a broker, you go recruit what?
Agents.
Real estate agents. Because if you're a broker and you have 10 real estate agents, as they sell homes, you get paid off of every home they sell. Yes or no?
Yes.
It's called
Leverage.
leverage. Okay, let's say you're an attorney, graduate law school, you're out practicing law, and you're getting paid to do work, but then you're like, you know what, I have no time, this is kind of ridiculous. I thought I was going to make millions of dollars doing this, but I'm really not. And because who in here knows attorneys don't make what they think they're going to make? They just don't. People think it's reality. When people think of attorney, they think of like the attorneys they see on TV. You know what I mean? So most attorneys don't make a ton of money. They struggle financially, right? So let's say you're working, and then you're like, you know what? I want to go open my own firm. And then who do you recruit? Attorneys. So you can make money off of everything that they do, yes or no? Because the only way you have time and money together is by getting paid for the time and efforts of others. You see this happening today in medicine, where you have physicians that work at a hospital, right? And they're getting up at 3 in the morning, doing surgeries. Who in here knows a physician has to do something like this, right? Waking up, always away from their family. Let's say they're with their family somewhere. Even if it was their daughter's wedding. If they need to go, they need to go, yes or no?
Absolutely.
Right? So what you see physicians doing today is opening their own outpatient centers. And then what they're doing is they're hiring some lab techs, some phlebotomists, some registered nurses, some physician's assistants. See, they own the outpatient center, so now they're paid through the time and efforts of other people instead of just paid through their own effort. Who in here is sick and tired of only getting paid through your effort? Okay? Now, if you say, well, I don't know about this getting paid off of other people. I don't know if I like that. Well, your boss does. Your boss loves making money off you. Because every day you work, you're making money for the company. I had someone just tell me recently, they're like, well, no one makes money off me. I work for the state. So we'll show you how to go recruit 2 people on your team. We'll show you how to get 2. Who in here knows at least 2 people either overworked or underpaid? We'll show you how to get 2. See, they own a business just like you own a business. You know why this is so much better than you owning a traditional business and hiring employees? Because if you own a traditional business and you hire an employee, that employee doesn't have the same stake in the company as what you have. See, that employee does not own a business. They work for you. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
See, in ACN, you get the same benefit of leverage, but they also own a business, which makes them want to take it more serious, which makes them want to stick with it, which makes them excited about building it. So you go introduce it to 2. Let's say those 2 go introduce it to 2. 2 turns into what? 4. And then those 4 go introduce it to 2. What happens? 8, then 16, 32, 64, and 28. And if you notice the residual column, is increasing as your organization size is increasing. So let's say, assuming every person on your team acquires 5 bills with an average monthly bill of $30, that's a residual income over $2,000 a month. Now, could you use an extra $2,000 a month?
Yes.
Now, this is a small example, but gets you to understand the concept and how this works. Now, there's different positions you can achieve in ACN. Everyone starts at the bottom position. You work your way to the top. First earned position is qualified team trainer. You acquire your first 7 customers and you're promoted. Do we have any qualified team trainers here today? Stand up so we can give you a round of applause. Stand up, QT teams. Awesome. Then we have ETT. ETT means you have 2 business partners, and you've helped these 2 business partners acquire their 7 customers. We call it 777. Now, if you do this within your first 30 days, ACN gives you a $500 bonus. Who in here likes making your money back quickly? Hey? Right? So stand up if you're an ETT, so we can give you a round of applause. Executive team training. Awesome. So check this out, how incredible this is. You achieve ETT first 30 days, they give you $500. And then every time you help someone achieve ETT, they pay you $100. Pretty cool, right? Right? ACN's paying you to help other people have success in the business. So then we have executive team leader. An executive team leader just means you help 2 business partners become an executive team trainer. So you're helping 2 people do what you just did, and you're now an executive team leader. You do this within your first 30 days, ACN gives you $1,500 just for doing that. Who in here can use an extra $1,500? Absolutely. Now watch this. Not only do you make $1,500, every time you help someone become an ETT as an ETL, you still make the $100 bonus from helping them do it. So if you're an executive team leader, stand up and get recognized. You deserve it, ETL. So then we have team coordinator. Team coordinator, your CAT bonus goes up to $300 for helping a new person in the business achieve success. And TC, you're now eligible for the annual retreat. Who in here loves traveling for free? Listen, traveling for free is amazing. My wife and I have been traveling for free with ACN since 2008. We've qualified for the trip, so we've been on over 10 different vacations that ACN has taken us on all around the world, from places like Costa Rica to South Africa to, where did we just go this past year? Panama. I mean, just all over the world, ACN has taken us. And I have people ask me, they say, Cody, man, it seems like you work ACN so hard. Do you ever take vacations? Nope, just retreats. Right? Because retreats, someone else pays for. Kind of like my breakfast this morning. Right? So if you're a team coordinator, stand up, get recognized, you deserve it. TC. And then we have the bonus that we talked about, right? So the bonus here, remember, ETT, 30 days, 500. ETL, 30 days, what do you make? 1,500. So that's the bonus for August, okay? So next thing I want to talk about, all right, so just same thing here, what I've already talked about the bonus, is the higher positions. Because who in here wants to make some more money?
Yes.
Right, because a little money's okay, but don't you want to make a lot of money?
Yes.
So here's what I believe. You might not believe this, but here's what I believe. If I'm going to spend 1/3 of my life in the pursuit of making money, I want to get good at it. Don't you want to get good at something that you spend 1/3 of your life doing? I mean, think about that. 1/3 of your life, at least, is going to be dedicated in the pursuit of working to make. Why wouldn't you want to get really good at that? If you're going to spend so much time doing it, get good at something that you're spending so much time doing. So regional directors, they're pretty good at making money in ACN, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
These are some great leaders in the business, and you see, look, you just helped 2 people achieve team coordinator. So by helping people do what you've already done, you achieve success. If you're a regional director, stand up, get recognized, you deserve it. Regional director. Good job. And they just left the building, but it's all right. So then the next position we have is Regional Vice President. RVP and Platinum Regional Vice President, these are the epitome of leaders in ACN. These are people that have fought the good fight, they've stuck with it, they've helped a tremendous amount of people. I know we have some RVPs here today. If you are, just stand up so you can get recognized. Regional. we have Senior Vice President, Fire. Listen, any one of you can go SVP. And let me just say this, okay? The way you go SVP, literally, is by looking at me and thinking, I can do that. I can do that. Not do a presentation like this. I just mean talk to people. Because look, when I was new in ACN, if you would have told me that eventually I had to get up and do presentations, I would have just ran out of the room, got in my car and drove away. Because who in here is not just scared to talk in front of large groups, but like, you have nightmares thinking about talking. Anyone? Listen, that was me. I mean, I was scared to death to talk in front of people. And what was so crazy, being a new person in ACN, it actually worked to my benefit. Because as a new person, we don't want you to explain it, we just want you to invite people. Who loves the fact that we just want you to invite and not explain? You know, so my business grew so fast at the beginning because I would call people and the invitation would be so short. Not because I wanted to be short, but because I was so afraid to talk to people. So I'd call people up and be like, hey, what are you doing Tuesday, 6:30? I don't know what's going on. Come to my house. About what? Making money. Doing what? I don't know, I can't explain it. Cody, what do you mean you can't explain it? Trust me, be at my house. See, this is how I would invite people. And then people would show up to the meeting, and because I didn't do the presentation, my mentor did the presentation, they would sign up in the business. So don't you love the fact that you don't have to present it, you just invite? Isn't that a great concept? Yes. That you don't have to go, you know, act like you're good at ACN or explain the business. It's about inviting people to see it. So today we're going to have a training to teach you how to build a business. We have local training, regional training, international training. You're in business for yourself, but you're just never, ever by yourself. So this time we have some promotions that we're going to do because who in here loves the fact that we recognize people in ACN? You know, so many times in traditional business or maybe at your job, you're only recognized for things you do wrong. Right? Like being late 2 minutes.
Yes.
It's crazy. You know what? I've been so disconnected from, you know, I guess the real world when it comes to having a job because I haven't had a job for 11 years, right? So I was talking to a business partner just 2 weeks ago and she was talking about this probation period she was in. Do you know of this thing? And I was like, what the heck is that? What do you mean a probation period? She's like, yeah, you know, I'm working for the airline and the first 90 days you can't call out for any reason and you know, it doesn't matter if you're sick or you just can't call out. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Like, I couldn't wrap my head around. She's like, yeah, if you miss a day, you can't work for them. And she said it's called your probation period. And I'm like, man, that sucks. Because who in here just wants to be free? Like, here's what's so crazy to me. If I'm a grown-up, to me, that means I don't want another grown-up to tell me what to do. Who in here is a grown-up? Okay. My suggestion is, if you're a grown-up, build a business so another grown-up that's ignorant to you, because who in here knows that sometimes bosses can be very ignorant? The way it is. So when they're ignorant to you, it makes you be nice back to them because if you're not nice, what happens? They could fire you, right? I don't want to live my whole life like that. I know you don't want to live your whole life like that. So before I bring the scene up here for the promotions, let me say this one last thing, okay? There's some of you here today that are thinking, well, listen, I'd love to do ACN, but I just don't have time to do this. I know. That's why the person invited you. Because do you really like having no time? See, if you have no time, the reason you have no time is because you don't make residual income. So no time is a result of making linear income, which means if you continue to do what you're doing, you'll have no time. You know, some are here this morning and you're thinking, I love to do this, I just don't have the money to do it. Well, if you're an adult and you've been working a year, 2 years, 5 years, and you don't have $499, that's some pretty good proof that what you're doing does not work.
Yep.
And look, I get it. Because if you're struggling financially, usually everyone in your circle is also doing what? Struggling financially. Birds of a feather. See, if you're broke, and everyone you associate with is broke, it makes being broke seem normal. And when being broke is normal, people don't try to change it because why would you change normal? It's just the way it is. See, being broke is not normal, it's accepted. And if it's accepted by you and the people that you're around, you'll never get out of it. That's why when you change your associations, you can change the income that you make, because making money is about the law of association. Until I started hanging around people that had more freedom and more time, I was not able to have more freedom and have more time and make more money. Because who in here knows that if you hang around people that aren't going anywhere, they don't want you to go anywhere either? Right. Who in here knows that if you hang around people that aren't dreamers, they don't want you dreaming either? Right. Who in here knows if you hang around people that are just negative about everything, they get annoyed when you're positive? Right. Why is that people get annoyed if you're so positive? I know why, because misery loves company. There might be someone here today. Here's what you're doing. You're sitting here and you're thinking, I'm not smiling no matter what. Let me give you a tip. We don't want you on the team. Because someone's negative energy can mess it up for a lot of people, yes or no? Yes. That's just a reality, right? So you want to surround yourself with people that are dreamers and excited and forward thinking and want to go somewhere. That's really what it's about. So I am fired up about ACN. We know for a fact that 2018 will be the greatest year that we've ever had. Who is just so fired up to be with this company? I'm so excited. We just opened Colombia, our 26th country of business. Okay? Get this. Close to 20,000 business partners have already joined in Colombia. The first 3 weeks of being open, 20,000 business partners. Okay, so it is growing like crazy. We already have plans to open Peru, Guatemala, Argentina in the near future. So South America is just expanding like crazy. Listen, if you don't take this business serious, let me tell you something. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you're going to look back and you are going to be so regretful that you did not take this business serious and build it, because ACN is going to a multi-billion-dollar company and beyond. Okay, so at this time, I want to bring up Mr. Nassim. Woo! And he's going to do a promotion. Come on, come on. Big round of applause.
Miss Elvira Gizmundo to a 60-point champion promotion.
You're supposed to clap and cheer. Now, she acquired 60 customer points. So here's what that means. It means she has now maximized the compensation plan, right? And she's done extremely well acquiring customers. So we're just going to have her give a tip and just maybe a testimonial on how she did that.
Okay. My name is Elvira Gizmundo, and I started ACN in October 2017. And I started really work in February, so it's like 6 months that I work. And just like everybody else, I work 3 jobs. This ACN is a 4th job. I work in healthcare, healthcare in a way, profession. And I did 60 points gradual. It's not like, I'm like, I heard Kuri yesterday, like, I want to run. But when I heard about him last night, and I said to Oleg this morning when we were having breakfast, and I said, I think I have to run this time. I realized that, I have 2 kids, and I put them to many activities. And my boy, Joshua, said, like, you miss it again, Mom. Like, he's promoted to first class Boy Scout. And he said, like, you're not there, Mom. And I did, like, you're sleeping. And I didn't even know that. Like, now that, ECN is really, like, working for me. Like I said to you, like, I think this time I'm gonna run.
Isn't it recognize others for their achievements? It really is. And do we have more? Got it. You want to take the mic? Yeah. Now this is when you get real scared because you think you're going to be brought up if you're a guest here.
Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing today? I'd like to give it back to Mr. Cody Mackey for doing an amazing job. Thank you so much. My name is Carlos Rodriguez. I'm a union carpenter by trade. And first time I came over here, I had no idea what I was going to expect. What I knew that I wanted more out of life, you know. I was sick and tired of saying that I'm sick and tired. I knew something needed to change. And when I came here and I saw this opportunity, I was sick and tired of being an opportunity for somebody else. So today, you know, I'm an executive team leader, platinum. I don't know if you guys know what that means. And because of that, because of ACN and the leadership and the mentors and the environment, I'm so thankful. I know, you know, when I'm going to retire, my mom raised 5 kids, and I know when I'm going to retire myself. So this wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for the leadership and training of ACN.
Morning, everybody. Christine Cipriano. I am an executive team leader. I'm a nurse. I also have a part-time golf teaching professional. Oh, wow. So I enjoy being outside. However, I'm not outside as often as I would like to be. Hence, I'm here with ACN. And I'd like to give the opportunity to other people to do the same thing. So looking forward for retirement. In the nursing industry, for myself, I didn't see the pathway that I wanted it to be, and I just jumped in with ACN. And I'm very excited as my team is growing, and under the tutelage and mentorship of Nassim Hamoud, you cannot be in the better hands of Mr. Nassim.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Cody, so much. So my name is Vicki Ameri. I'm a team coordinator in ACN. I got involved a few short years ago. I have a downline of close to 300 people, maybe 250. Not everybody's active, so not wow. You know, it's the gym. They all join. I still go to the gym at 50 years old. I have a 6-pack. Anyway, that's the difference. So, I really do. Anyway, I know we have a short time. Customers probably get paid on about 1,200 of my own. I have 81 customer points. I just started getting customers again the last few weeks. I went to 60 points my first 2 weeks in the business years ago. Then I just didn't get customers because, you know, I was getting my 10% back. But now there's a guy on my team, he has 180 points, and I'm feeling a little competitive. So I just started picking up the phone. The phone is heavy, I'm getting no's, yeses, but I'm doing it, you know? Anyway, there's 2 things that are really gonna get me to senior vice president, and I know what they are, I know what they've always been, and that is really commitment. I've never had a problem with commitment. You know, even when I was a waitress and a bartender in college, like I was the first one at my shifts, the last one to leave. You know, like Cody, I worked in finance after college because I wanted to make money. Mom was poor on welfare, and I just wanted to be rich, and I hustled, and I had to get coffee, pick up dry cleaning. Wound up being a Wall Street trader, very successful for 20 years. I've always had work ethic because I've always been hungry. So with ACN, you know, the hardest thing for most people is just showing up. I mean, it's raining today, my kids are home alone, I see them every other weekend, so this is my weekend, and they're home alone. But again, I'm committed, I'm all in, I get the future, you know what I mean? I don't miss a convention. Last convention was my daughter's 8th grade graduation. I literally spent like, anyway, I'm just saying, commitment. I know, I always get, listen, it's the best business. I'm so grateful. I love this country.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
My name is Ray Brooks. I'm an assistant principal at a middle school in Staten Island. When I saw this business a few years ago, I got really excited, went to work, and I haven't stopped. I mean, I love what this business represents. I love the people that I'm meeting. I really enjoyed you too, Mr. Mackey, last night, and just being able to put more things into perspective. I initially began this business because I wanted to pay off my student loans. Since joining, that's done. I paid off my student loans. So now my focus is that I want to spend more time. I want to have time freedom, just like Mr. Mackey was saying. That's my deal. I don't want to have someone else telling me how I spend my time. So I just dedicate all my success to the training and support of ACN.
Good morning. My name is Renata Kromer. I'm in this business with my wonderful husband. He's not here today. His name is Boris Glickstein, and we are currently holding position of Regional Vice President Platinum. And yesterday, thank you so much. And yesterday, I have an honor to learn from you. You're absolutely magnificent. I'm so proud and honored to follow leaders like you. Thank you so much. I've been in this business for 6 years. I was working as a hotel manager at a corporate job for over 20 years. 6 years ago, it was the worst time in my life, in our family life. 3 of our children were in college at the same time, and my mother's health started to deteriorate. This is the very first and the very last network marketing company in my life I'm staying. It took me 1 year to completely retire. Because of ACN, I was able to retire at 49. And it was very significant because of ACN. In 2 more years, my totally skeptical husband was able to retire. So meaning 3 years being a company. Because of ACN, I'm 54 today, and because of ACN, I feel more relevant, better, even better looking than ever in my life. It's because of the freedom. Thank you so much, and congrats to every single person. I think great opportunity and great soul need to be deserved. You here, congrats, and we're learning for the most brilliant leader here tonight. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Zola Pichard. I'm ultrasound tech, traditional business owner. I own a tech firm. The reason I got involved with ACN is because as a provider for my family, just giving shelter and food for me is not enough. I need to leave my family, my kids, resources, knowledge, a sort of income so they could be taking care of them without me being there. So that's the reason I do ACN. Today I have 94 customer points, and I will have 100 by the end of the month. Wow. So everybody that comes here, the support, the training is amazing here. Thank you.
And Renata's right. That's what Platinum RVP money will do. Makes you look better than ever, yes or no? Yeah. Who here knows when you make a lot of money, you feel pretty good? I mean, it's the truth. I mean, it really, really is. So what we're going to do now is go into some mindset, and then we're going to take a quick break. Is that okay? Yes. All right. So when you start ACN, here's what's so important to understand about our business. You have to shift your thinking from an employee mindset to a business owner mindset. Now, before ACN, I was an employee. I never owned a business, but I grew up in a family where my dad was a business owner, owned multiple businesses, and I saw his work ethic and I saw what he did. And one thing that he taught me at an early age is he said, Cody, you don't have to feel like doing it to do it. He said, you don't do it because you feel like doing it. You do it because you want the result of doing it. Like, look at it this way, okay? Who in here likes to feel healthy? Right? We like to feel healthy, right? Well, see, nothing tastes as good as healthy feels. So someone says, well, man, I have trouble with eating habits. Well, it's because you're not focusing on how good healthy feels. See, healthy feels so much better than anything could ever taste. So it's the same thing in our business. You just have to shift your thinking from employee mindset to business mindset, which means I don't have to feel like doing this to do it. I'm going to do it because I want the result of doing it. See, I do ACN not because I always feel like it. I do ACN because I want the result of doing it. Here's a misconception people have. Well, just do something that you love and you'll never have to work a day in your life. Who's ever heard that? Okay? Now, that's some okay advice, but here's some better advice. Do something that makes you a lot of money to get free. How about that? Because who in here knows people that do something they love, but then they don't make no money and their life's miserable? Yes or no? Yes. Now, they're doing something that they love, but then they can't pay their mortgage, they can't pay their bills, they can't send their kids to school, they're living paycheck to paycheck, their car breaks down, they can't get it fixed, yes or no? Yes. But I'm doing something that I love. See, it's just because they've gotten bad advice. See, if you look at our life, right? The circumstance that I'm in right now, the circumstance that you're in, That circumstance that you're in is based off choices that you made. Yes or no?
Yes.
Now, the choices we make are usually shaped by the advice that we get. Yes or no? The advice that we get is usually shaped by the associations that we have. Yes or no?
Yes.
And our associations are shaped by the environment that we choose to place ourselves in. See, when you change your environment, your whole life changes. But until you change your environment, nothing else will change. You see this happen a lot of times. Let's say someone goes to prison, right? Son, daughter goes to jail. And their mom or dad says, I just don't get it. They were such a good kid. You know why? Because they were in the wrong environment. And because they were in the wrong environment, they were wrong association, and the wrong association gave them bad advice. Bad advice, they made bad choices, and from those choices, they led themselves into the circumstance that they're in. So if you're here today and you're broke financially, you have no money, you have no time, guess what? Because you're now in the right environment, all that can change. It can all change for you. Who is excited about their life 2 years from now?
Yeah.
I know I am. Listen, I am so jacked up and excited about what my life is going to be. So you have to shift your thinking, okay? So we have generational thinking, where we approve. We look for approval of others. You know, habits, poor habits. We live inside of our comfort zone. You know, your comfort zone is your failure zone. Everything that you want out of life is on the other side of comfort. And if you really understood how uncomfortable your comfort zone is, you'd be so quick to get out of it. Because if you seek a life of comfort, your life will be uncomfortable. But if you seek a life of discomfort, your life will be comfortable. It's called the pleasure-pain principle. If you look at what the pleasure-pain principle is, if I seek instant pleasure, ultimately I get pain. But if I seek pain, I get what? Pleasure. It's called no pain, no gain. See, why is it we just say those things, but then when it comes to our own life, we don't believe it? Oh man, he's seeing so hard. I don't know if I should do this. You just said no pain, no gain. Why is it we seek things that are easy and then expect a lot? You see, if you do things that are easy, right, guess what you're going to get from doing something that's easy? Not a lot. So whatever we seek to do that is so easy and we don't have to overcome any obstacles or we don't have to overcome any challenges, the reward for that is very small. Who in here wants a big reward? Right? You can get the big reward in ACN. So you have to get away from that type of thinking and you have to go over here to I can do it type of attitude. Everyone say I can do it.
I can do it.
You can definitely do this. Can I do a little teaching? Okay. Now, I'm a Christian, and there's a lot of different faiths here today, so it's not like based on what your faith is, whether this is true or not. Because every religion or no religion, when it comes to succeeding, the principles are pretty universal. Yes or no? Yes. Okay? So if you look at the I can do attitude, in the Bible, which I read from, it's in the book of Mark. And Jesus is talking about where the words are like seeds. And he talks about how our words are so powerful. And he relates the seed to our words. See, the most powerful thing you and I have is our what? It's our words. It's what comes out of our mouth, right? It doesn't, what goes in a person doesn't defile a man, but what proceedeth out of a man is what profile, right? So what comes out of my mouth is what will either grow me or destroy me. It's just the way that it works. So if I'm an ACN and I say, I can do it, I'm planting the right seed. If you're an ACN and you're saying, I don't know if I can do this, you're planting the wrong seed. See, Henry Ford said, if you think you can do it, you're right. If you think you can't do it, you're right. Either way, you're right. See, it's up to you. And we need to be farmers with our words. Here's what happens to so many people in this life. They look at their life, and their life just seems to be pretty crappy. Crappy's not a curse word here, is it?
No.
North in New Jersey. No, we're in Jersey. So I can say crappy, right? Yeah. So if you look at someone that thinks their life is just crappy, you know why their life is crappy? Because they're speaking crap words. See, when you speak crap words, you plant crap seed, and then you grow a crap crop, and then you reap a crop of crap.
That's so funny.
And someone says, well, no, it can't be that way. No, it is. See, whether you believe in gravity or not, it's still true. Well, I don't believe in gravity. Well, get on this building and just walk off. See, it doesn't matter if you believe in it or not, it's still true. It's still applicable in your life. So if you're speaking that this is not going to work for you, there's no way possible this business can work for you. See, whatever you speak, we all live at the level of which we speak. I remember being new in ACN and riding down the road in my car, and I'd say things like this: I'm going BETT, I'm wrapping this thing up, right? And then I was ETT, I'd be riding down the road, I'm going ETL. Ain't nobody stopping me. I'm making this thing happen. Anyone gets in my way, I'm going to run them over. I'm going ETL. Be negative to me, I dare you. I'm going to flatten you like the pet, right? And if you don't have this type of attitude, because here's my attitude. See, with my words, I'm going to be nice to everyone. But inside, here's my attitude. You try to stop me, I'm going to run over you. I'll run over you. Right? Because until you develop, no one will take this business from me type of attitude, and no one will steal my dream. Someone's always going to steal your dream. Someone's always going to take it. And it's usually someone close to you. You know the most dangerous person in your life when it comes to your dreams is highly intelligent, well-articulated broke people. I'm being dead serious. Because highly intelligent, well-articulated broke people, they can make not doing this sound so good not to do it. And it will make you start to second guess or question your decision to do ACN. That's why you have to look at their life. And if you don't want their life, don't take their opinion. Because when you take someone's opinion, you take their life. Because if their opinion was so good, why don't they have the life you want? Why aren't they living the life that you want? Who in here knows some highly intelligent, well-articulated broke people? Stay away from it. Just. What'd she say? That's my husband? Yeah. Don't stay away from him. Listen, I'm not trying to create any divorces here. But I get this question all the time. Well, how do I deal with my husband or wife that is so negative? Can I step on your toes just a little bit? Maybe that husband or wife is so negative because you've not been good for your word for all the other businesses you said you were going to do throughout your life that you've quit. Maybe they deserve to think that way because you're never good for your word. Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing how when someone tries to give us push, right, we never look at ourselves. We always look at them and it's always their fault. You ever realize that? So listen, I know a lot of you here, not just this lady that said my husband's negative. And again, this isn't to her personally. Hopefully you didn't take offense from that, man. That's not personally to you. That's generally how just people operate. Because if your husband or your wife is negative, what you need to do is go make this thing work and prove that it works so they stop being negative. Yes. You understand? Yes. Don't allow their negativity to stop you doing the business. Make that the fuel on your fire that makes it burn so bright and hot that you're going to go do this. Well, let me tell you about resistance, okay? And again, this is a scriptural thing, and not to get too personal, right? But Scripture says what the enemy meant to harm you, God meant for good, okay? So a lot of times we look at things where we say, I can't believe this person's so negative in my life. Why will God allow this to happen? Why would this issue happen? Here's what happens, okay? If you look at a garden hose, let's say you take a garden hose, right? And the water turns on. It doesn't have a nozzle on the end. You just hold that water. That water might flow out 4 feet in front of you. Yes or no? Right? It's not going to go very far. See, when you don't have resistance in your life, you don't go far. That's why most people don't go far in their life, because they're approval seekers. there's no resistance to them. And when there's no resistance to the water coming out, it doesn't go far. See, when there's resistance in your life, if you have that garden hose and you take your thumb and you try to stop that water from coming out, what's the water do around the edges? How far does it go? Real far. People negative in your life is a blessing. It's not a curse. It is a blessing. It is a blessing to you. Because those people were put there purposely for you to work harder, for you to get up earlier, for you to stay up later, for you to overcome obstacles you would never overcome. It's not a negative thing. See, negative people are necessary. Everyone say necessary. Necessary. It's necessary. Like my mentor Danny Valenino said, he said, show them smoke and taillights. Just show them smoke and taillights. See, it's having this calm confidence. Someone's negative to you, you just smile. But inside you're thinking, I'm about to get so rich. Let me tell you a quick story. Do y'all like stories? Yes. Right. Now, I'm not proud of this story. And I repented. But I had a roommate that when I started ACN, this guy was so negative. Anyone have anyone in your life that's just so negative towards ACN? Like they're just, like you, like they're close, that might be a family, like you purposely stay away from them because you think you might get in a fight. Well, this guy's name was Colby, right? My name's Cody, his name was Colby. So he was just so negative towards ACN. Well, Colby owned a barbershop, still owns a barbershop to this day, right? And what's so crazy about Colby, even though he's so negative, it's a real long story. He's the one that won me to the Lord. So if it wouldn't have been for him, I wouldn't be where I was at today. How crazy is that, right? But this guy, he was just so negative. And when I got involved in ACN, he was just so negative. And wanted nothing to do with it. And when, Aaron Burke would come to Eastern Shore, Maryland, he'd be driving in a 7 Series BMW. He would tell all my friends that that wasn't his car. He rented it from Enterprise. What are you talking about? You can't rent a 7 Series BMW. Like, what are you talking about? Like, he would just make up stuff. He called all my mutual friends and told them I was involved in something illegal. And when I called them not to pick up the phone. Wow. So he was so motivated in his negativity, he called everyone to warn them that I'd be calling. Oh, crap. How crazy is that? So he was one of the people in my life who was that motivation for me. See, you need that motivation. Oh, Cody, how'd you go SVP? Because I had so many negative people in my life, if you really want the truth. And it made me work so hard. And it made me talk to so many people. And when I was a RVP, because this was before Platinum RVP. I was a regional vice president in ACN, doing very well. 29 years old. And I bought my first Ferrari. Okay, so I had a goal, personally. I was going to have a Ferrari when I was in my 20s. So I bought the Ferrari, drove it, actually bought it from Ferrari, New Jersey, okay? Central New Jersey. So I drove it all the way back down to Maryland where I lived at the time. And his barber shop was on the way home. And as I started to get close to the barber shop, the Lord said, don't do it. You ever heard of something called presumptuous sin? I repented. I pulled up in that parking lot. And I just sat there. And I waited for him to come out. But here's what's so crazy. When he came out, here's what's so nuts about negative people. And this is a great lesson to you. When he came out, he never said one word about the car. Oh, wow. It was a red Ferrari F430. He never said one word about the car. It was, hey, what are you doing? How you been? Where are you living at now? Okay, and I'm sitting there like... And that taught me a big lesson that negative people just don't care. See, negative people are always going to be negative. It's just the way it is. So that you don't want to argue, you just want to get away so you can go focus. Was that story helpful? Yeah. So determine why you want to do the business. You know, we all want to make money, but it's to spend time with your family. That's really what it's about. It's about the things that your family can do. Okay? So getting started, you need desire, you need work ethic, need to be committed, need to be positive, need enthusiasm, need urgency. Understand that we sort, we don't sell. Everyone say sort. Sort. It's not about you selling. You have to sort through people. See, negative people are going to be negative. Green people are going to be green. Red people, which means they're ready to go, they're going to be ready to go. It doesn't matter what they are. All that matters is you sort. That's what matters. Don't try to sell this. Just sort through people. So stay off of the emotional roller coaster. Know your why is so important to accomplishing this. Okay, so you have to know your why. Your why must be emotional. Write it down. Have long-term thinking, and treat this business like it was $500,000 to start, not $499 to start the business. Okay, so you always want to stay up. You don't want to stay down, because when you stay down, you lose production. You lose action. You need to stay up. Okay, and I'm going to teach you here how to always stay up. Who in here wants the secret recipe on how to stay up? Okay, let me get through this. All right. Before I bring up Mr. Bouvet, I'm going to teach you something that'll change your life. You ready for it?
Yes.
If you really internalize and teach what I'm about to teach you, or internalize this, it will absolutely change your life. Okay? There's a book, it's called the Book of Psalms. Have you ever read it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, the Book of Psalms, Psalms 119, 165, here's what it says. Great peace have they that love thy law, and nothing shall offend them. Okay? I want to talk to you about you being offended. See, if you allow anyone to offend you, you lose your peace. And when you lose your peace, you lose all ability to focus. Because when peace is gone, focus is gone. Yes or no?
Yes.
Think about your life. Let's say you had to get something done. You were going to get it done. But then you turned on the news and got offended by something. It took away all your focus because it took away all your peace. Or you picked up the phone call and someone said something. Or listen, the battle for your life is for the battle of your mind. Amen. That's the focus, okay? See, it's for the battle up here. So you just have to make up your mind, I'm not going to get offended by anything. Not because what they said is not nice or rude or mean. It's because my life is more important than me being offended by you. Because when you offend me, here's what happens. I lose my peace. And when I lose my peace, I lose my focus. And when I lose my focus, I lose all ability to perform at a high level. See, our country today, our world today, needs leaders like a Martin Luther King Jr. Yes or no? Yes. The reason he was such a great leader is because he understood what I'm telling you. Right? I mean, what was happening in our world was so terrible. What was his attitude? Peace, 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 peace. Why? Because if you keep your peace, you can stay focused on what you're doing. And if you don't keep that peace, you're never going to stay focused, which means you're never going to be able to perform at a high level. And it's about having this spirit in you that says, I refuse to be offended. And me personally, here's how I'm able to do that. If someone offends me, you know why I don't get offended? Because I care more about that person's soul than I care about my offense.
Beautiful.
That's why I do it. Doesn't matter what you say to me, you're not going to offend me. Doesn't matter how rude you are to me, you're not going to offend me. Because I'm more worried about the person's soul than I am about my offense. Because I want that person's life to get right more than I want to be offended. Does that make sense, everyone? And if you have that attitude, let me tell you something. You're going to succeed so quickly in ACN, it will blow your mind. Because people have come up to me over the years, Cody, how did you do it? How did you achieve success so quickly? Because I was able to stay focused. And the only way you stay focused is don't get offended. Now here's what's nuts. Now that I've taught you this, as soon as you leave here today on the way home, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be tested. You're going to be tested, okay? So thank you so much for having me. an incredible leader, just a fantastic, or actually, let's do this, okay? Let's take a quick break. You want to take a break, Nassim? Okay, so let's take a break. If you're a guest, get with the person that invited you out. If you're ready to sign up in the business, we'll show you how to get started. Okay, welcome to the